This time on Battle Factory, a suit that's tailor-made for the world's most dangerous job. Looking down the barrel of a semi-automatic weapon, a combat-ready boat you can launch from the sky, and a portable missile launcher that's right on target. Battle Factory steps beyond the front lines into top secret factories where combat gear is built for battle. When these pieces of hard plastic and bulletproof fabric are molded and stitched together, they'll make a suit of armor that's tailor-made for the most dangerous job in the world. For the bomb disposal specialist, going to work means putting his life on the line. During the Blitz of World War II, the first modern EOD, or Explosive Ordnance Disposal, was established to deal with unexploded German bombs that landed and lodged in London streets. The first operatives worked unprotected, and detonation meant certain death. It wasn't until the 1980s, when British bomb squads were handling IRA explosives, that the protective suit was developed. In combat zones like Afghanistan, where soldiers are more likely to be killed by an IED than by gunfire, bomb disposal specialists are in high demand and at high risk. When a patrol spots something suspicious, the bomb squad is dispatched to investigate, and one operator will suit up and head out alone on what has been referred to as the long walk. The bomb suit is made up of the helmet, the outer shell, the soft armor, and the hard armor. The hard armor is made from a stack of multiple sheets of polyethylene that are placed in a press. Heat, steam, and 1,000 tons of pressure fuse the sheets into a shield that's 10 times stronger than steel and made from the same tightly woven fibers that protect armored cars. Then, the shield is cut into 3 curved plates for each of the body's vital areas: the chest, groin, and the throat. The shield deflects the bomb's high-impact shock waves. Shrapnel has a tough time penetrating the armor. During a tour of duty in Afghanistan, Staff Sergeant Carl Badger Lee's steady hands and cool head have racked up the record for dismantling twice as many IEDs as anybody else. He's defused 139 bombs, 42 of them in one village alone. In 2010, Badger was awarded a medal for his acts of bravery by Prince Charles. He also saved thousands of lives. While the hard armor protects against a worst-case scenario, when you're picking up bombs, you still have to be able to move. So the bulk of the bomb suit is made from flexible, soft armor that bends and stretches with the wearer. Sheets of bulletproof synthetic material called aramid are rolled onto the cutting table. Patterned stencils are laid over the material, traced and cut. When a bullet or shrapnel connects, the fabric softens the blow by catching it in the tight-knit weave, like a spider web, and spreading the impact across the material. The bomb suit helmet starts as rectangular pieces of ballistic material, which are forced into a rounded steel mold. A heat-resistant balloon is dropped into the mold and connected to an air supply. The balloon is inflated, and the mold is placed in a kiln. The pressure and heat of the kiln shape the helmet. Once the shell is baked, the balloon is deflated and removed. The helmet is cut into shape with a handsaw. The surface is sprayed and baked to a hard glaze. The hard and soft armor are stuffed into the outer shell, and the helmet is fitted with accessories like lights, a communication system, and a protective visor. After 40 hours of careful craftsmanship, this bomb suit is complete and ready to be tested. Even though a sample from each batch is put through rigorous testing, wearing a bomb suit does not guarantee you won't get hurt. But if you dismantle bombs for a living, you want your work clothes to give you a fighting chance and make the most dangerous job in the world a little less dangerous. Coming up on Battle Factory, the business end of a C7 rifle, and an inflatable boat that can take a bullet without sinking. What starts off as a 7-pound bar of steel will soon deliver a bullet with deadly accuracy. The barrel of a Colt C7 assault rifle. In the Gulf War, Rwanda, and Afghanistan, the Colt C7 has served as the standard-issued weapon to soldiers around the world. And a rifle's ability to shoot straight and aim true is built right into the barrel. Cylinders of high-carbon tooled steel move along a conveyor belt to a machine which can precision drill the 10-millimeter holes in up to 4 barrels at a time. It takes about 10 minutes for the carbide bit to drill through the bar. Every barrel is checked by hand to make sure the bore is clean. The C7 fires 15 rounds per second at speeds of over 3,500 kilometers an hour and has an effective range of up to 620 meters. Even the tiniest scrap of dirt could throw a bullet off its target and make the rifle dangerous to fire. Bosnia, 1993, was the first time that the C7 saw action, and it was an historic battle. Canadian peacekeepers were forced to draw their C7s to defend their position, a civilian village against a hostile military invasion. They were outnumbered, but not outgunned. In what was considered one of the most severe battles since the Korean War, the Canadian forces, armed with C7s, managed to defeat their adversaries. A robotic arm sends each barrel into the hammer forge. 4 synchronized hammers pound on the bar, which shrinks the bore diameter, stretches the barrel, and toughens the steel. Meanwhile, the barrel is squeezed around a spiral-shaped tool that forms the rifling, a unique corkscrew design on the inside of the barrel. These grooves in the barrel cause the bullet to spin and fly straight. They also etch a ballistic fingerprint in every bullet that'll match the gun it was fired from. Coming out of the hammer forge, the barrel has grown 20 centimeters. A technician inspects the barrel's interior, checking the grooves that make up this rifle's fingerprint. The barrel is dropped into a 1.8-meter deep firing pit, and a single high-pressure test bullet is fired. This determines if the explosive impact will cause any damage to the barrel. The barrel is soaked with oil containing fluorescent iron particles. Then it's run through a magnetic particle inspector to check for flaws. An electric current makes any crack in the barrel magnetic. The iron particles accumulate around even the tiniest flaw, which is visible under black light. Less than 1 in 100,000 barrels are found to be defective, but this test is critical. After a month's worth of work, the test discovers a crack barely a fraction of an inch long. The barrel is rejected. A fracture might lead to the rifle literally blowing up in the shooter's face. In Bosnia in 1993, Canadian forces were in their first major gunfight in almost 40 years. But with the help of the C7 assault rifle, they redefined what peacekeepers can do, and thousands of lives were saved. After meeting the demanding standards of the C-Series assault rifle, the rest of the barrel is assembled. Once the barrel is complete, it's hammered onto the stock. The C7 assault rifle is an extension of every soldier on the ground. The barrel is a critical extension of the C7. The action loads and fires the ammunition, but where that bullet is headed depends on the barrel. Coming up on Battle Factory, a boat that can take 20-foot waves, enemy fire, and still stay afloat. And lightweight artillery that packs a heavy punch. This sharp-edged wedge of steel is built to cut through and rise above just about anything the ocean can throw at it. From police operations to amphibious assaults, the Zodiac Hurricane is the go-to vessel for deploying Marines, Navy SEALs, and special forces around the world. Whether it's launched by land, aircraft, or off the deck of a ship, this boat is virtually unsinkable. The Zodiac Hurricane breaks down into 3 parts: an air-filled rubber collar, the crew compartment, and an aluminum hull. The first step in construction is building the hull. 1-meter pieces of lightweight aluminum are welded together to form the 9-meter structure. The bulkheads are then lowered onto the hull and hammered into place to provide structure for the frame. Then they're welded together. The welds are ground down to a smooth finish. The hull's deep V shape minimizes resistance, which increases speed and stability. The Hurricane's got a step system across the bottom and the rear sections of the hull. This air-channeled system reduces surface contact with the water, which makes for faster acceleration and better handling. That speed and agility made the Zodiac Hurricane a key player in 2009's Operation Atalanta. In the Indian Ocean off the coast of Somalia, an EU Navy ship lured pirates out to sea by posing as a merchant vessel that was vulnerable to attack. When the pirates got close, the Navy turned about and launched a coordinated attack of high-speed Zodiac Hurricanes and helicopters to take down the pirate ship and bring the raiders to justice. When you take a wave at 50 knots, the Zodiac Hurricane hits the surface with bone-crunching impact. But on board, the passengers are cushioned from the blow. Once the seats are assembled, testing can begin. The seats are tested for strength and durability. They're mounted on a miniature V-shaped hull. Sand stands in for water. The rig simulates a 136-kilogram passenger hitting the water with 3 Gs of force, enough impact to knock a person out or even kill them. If they can take the hit, the seats are installed. The final step in the assembly is the inflatable neoprene collar. It's what makes a Zodiac a true Zodiac. The collar stabilizes the boat in rough water and acts as a shock absorber to reduce the bounce in the ride. The collar is manufactured from neoprene rubber, which is rolled out, measured, and cut. The pieces are carefully glued together using a heavy-duty cement to make sure the tube is watertight. And once the cement is dry, the collar is inflated and double-checked for air leaks. In a skirmish, the collar's outer layer of hard foam is designed to absorb a spray of bullets. But if one gets through, the collar has 5 separate air chambers, so it can take a hit and still stay afloat. Before installation, the collar is deflated. The collar is then slid on and fastened to the hull.
1, 2, 3.
Whether it's a high-speed pursuit, onboard assault, or anti-piracy operation, the Zodiac Hurricane is equipped for combat. Coming up on Battle Factory, it takes seconds to put together and can drop a shell 6 clicks past enemy lines. Once these steel tubes are honed, they'll become portable missile launchers. An infantry weapon that's highly effective and deadly simple. The M252 81mm mortar can trace its roots back to the Stokes mortar, first used in World War I. This lightweight muzzle-loading artillery fired explosives that could arc over enemy barricades and land in the trenches. First introduced by the British in 1915, it soon became the most widely used mortar among the Allied armies. The modern-day M252 mortar assembles in seconds, can be transported over any terrain, and drops 15 rounds per minute with a range of almost 6 kilometers. The M252 mortar breaks down into 3 components: the cannon, the mount, and the base plate. The base plate starts out in a cutting-edge machining center and is milled to be both sturdy and lightweight. It's showered in coolant to reduce friction and heat. And when it's finished, it will only weigh 13 kilos. The base plate stabilizes the mortar so it can fire accurately no matter where it's set up. It also absorbs the recoil that would otherwise drive the cannon into the ground. The base plate and the rest of the rig have to be lightweight enough so that once rounds have been fired, the mortar can be moved out fast. The core of the mortar is the steel cannon that launches the shells. When a shell is dropped into the mortar, a primer connects with the firing pin and ignites the propellant, which creates the explosion that launches the shell from the cannon. The bottom of the cannon is etched with cooling fins. With a round firing every 4 seconds, the mortar cannon gets red hot. Cooling fins are grooves that expand the surface area and draw the heat away from the barrel wall, making it possible to keep firing the mortar. But mortars aren't used solely for warfare. Sometimes they're used to trigger mini avalanches. These precisely controlled explosions loosen the snowpack before they can build up into major avalanches that would block the nearby highways and put people in danger. The mount on the mortar serves triple duty. It stabilizes the cannon, helps absorb the force of the blast, and can adjust the angle for aim. The mount's shock absorber uses springs to dampen the mortar fire's recoil. Once the mount is assembled, a hand crank can adjust the angle. During a mortar operation, every second is critical. On the front lines, mortar teams use this lightweight, compact weapon system to support infantry and penetrate enemy blockades. And like the mortar itself, the team is a synchronized unit acting as one to achieve maximum impact and maximum effect.